Hello and welcome back to the Geordie Pig Investor channel, where we deep dive into the world of dividend investing to help you build a portfolio that pays you. Whether you're just starting out or looking to maximise your passive income, this channel is your go-to resource for strategies, insights and the tools you need to grow your wealth steadily over time. Hit that subscribe button and join me as we explore how to make your money work for you, one dividend at a time. In today's video, I'll be going through all the stocks I have bought and sold in the month of June. This is a video that's been requested a few times and I've got great feedback from it over the last few months, so I thought I'd continue showing you all the buys and sells each month. And as you know, I like to be as transparent as possible on my channel. This was another super action-packed month as I have lots of buys and sells within the portfolio, a couple of new stocks in the portfolio, which makes me feel my portfolio is aligning better with my personal goals, and I'm really happy with the changes I've made. Anyways, let's get straight into it and see what stocks I bought and sold in the month of June. First one being Starbucks, stock ticker SBUX. I sold 16 shares for a total amount of £1,046.09 and I received £24.60 in dividends while owning the company. I did pay £1.58 in fees, meaning overall I had a realised gain of £63.35. I decided to sell out of my Starbucks position because I've lost confidence in the company's growth trajectory. Rising labour costs, slowing international expansion and recent management missteps made me feel like there are better opportunities for my capital elsewhere. The second stock I sold in the month of June was National Grid, stock ticker NG. I sold 120 shares for a total amount of £1,250.40 and did receive £39.72 dividends, meaning overall we had a realised gain of £108.11. I sold out of this position because the growth outlook looks pretty flat, and with rising interest rates impacting utility debt, I'd rather move that capital into a different UK dividend paying company with more upside potential, and I feel I found a great opportunity in the market to make this switch, which you will find more out about later in today's video. The third sale and final one for the month of June was my global Nasdaq 100 covered call ETF, where I sold 65 shares for a total amount of £752.96 and did receive £5.76 in dividend payments, meaning overall we had a realised gain of £3.93. I sold out of the global Nasdaq ETF because its performance and income potential weren't meeting my expectations. QYLP uses a static covered call strategy which can really cap the upside, especially in a strong tech rally. I've actually switched to JEQP instead, which runs an actively managed option strategy on the Nasdaq 100. It aims to generate better risk-adjusted returns, offers more consistent income, and still allows for some upside growth. For me, JEQP is a smarter, more balanced way to play tech with income, and you'll see the new position I've opened up in the ETF later in today's video. Now we can move on to the more exciting part where I show you all the stocks I bought in the month of June, starting off with my JP Morgan Global Growth and Income, stock ticker JGGI, where I bought 120 shares for a total amount of £646.72, which means my new position size is now £7,208.93, coming to a total of 1,310 shares. I also bought one share of the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF for a total amount of £83.97, bringing my new position size in this one to now £9,221.49 and a total of 106 shares. These are my two biggest positions in my portfolio, and I hope they continue to be the biggest two for a very long time to come. Next stock I bought in the month of June was the Income Shares Tesla ETP, where I bought 75 shares for a total amount of £276.41, meaning my new position size is now £340.68, and I have a total of 100 shares of the stock. I also bought 50 shares of another Income Shares ETP, and that was the Coinbase one. This came to a total amount of £180.11, meaning my new position size in this one was now £395.44, and I also have 100 shares in this particular ETP. The first individual stock I bought in the month of June was Greggs. I bought 29 shares for a total amount of £570.68, meaning we now have a position size of £1,022.77, which equates to 60 shares. I also bought the JP Morgan Global Equity Premium ETF, where I added 6 shares of this one for £99.29, meaning my new position size is now £1,261.82, and I have 64 total shares of this particular ETF. The next stock I bought in the month of June was MasterCard, where I bought 0.1 of a share when it had that big share price drop. I paid £43.12, bringing my new position size to £1,075.88. And when this dropped, so did Visa, so I capitalised on that as well, buying 0.2 shares of Visa stock for a total amount of £51.42, meaning my new position size in this one is now £2,144.70. The first new stock I added to the portfolio in the month of June, which was to replace National Grid, is none other than B&M Value Retail, stock ticker BME. I bought 650 shares for a total amount of £1,717.24 in the month of June, and my new position size is now £1,738.56, as we have saw a slight increase in the price, and I'm very much looking forward to receiving my first dividend payment in the month of August from that one. The other new stock we added to the portfolio was one that I mentioned earlier in the video, and that was the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium ETF, stock ticker JEQP. I added 47 shares of this stock for a total amount of £832.69, and as you can see with this one as well, we have saw a slight increase in the price, with it now being valued at £843.59, and this is one I'll hopefully continue to keep adding to on a monthly basis, as they do pay out on a monthly basis, and I'll probably be reinvesting that dividend straight back into the company. So as you've just saw, I've had a pretty busy month overall in June, and actually ended up spending over £4,500, but did sell just over £3,000 worth too. Most of this money was cash I deployed into the portfolio myself alongside the 3 sales I made, but there was also some money that came from reinvesting dividends I received during the month. If you want to see which stocks actually paid me in the month of June, then please check that video out, as it's already up on my channel. Moving forward, I want to solidify these positions and hopefully keep the selling down to a minimum. And this leads me nicely to us looking at my main objectives for 2025. In this part of the video, I'm going to break down some key points for my investing strategy moving forward, and although you'll probably agree that it is very simple for the most part, I really do think it helps to write it down and remind yourself of what your goals are moving forward. Remember, your goals can change, so always ask yourself if you're still happy with what you initially set out to be, and if you're not, then make those changes. First up is that I want to be consistently adding money every payday so that I always pay myself first into my ISA account. This is so important for me, as it means I can get used to not seeing or having this money come payday, and just like I have to pay my mortgage or any sort of bill for that month, I think of this payment going into my investment account as another necessary bill. This then makes it a non-negotiable every month and helps turn investing into a very healthy habit. Next up is having consistent weekly contributions towards my 2 main ETFs, which are VUSA and JGGI. Over time, I want to work them up to being around 40% of my overall portfolio. Right now, they sit just under 35% of the overall portfolio, which I'm actually very happy with, as this has been slowly increasing over the past few months. I have this as a main goal for 2025, as it's important for me to ignore market noise, and every Monday, regardless of what's happening in the world, I know that I'll add around £100 between these 2 ETFs. I also have a separate goal where I want to add 1 share of JEPG each week. This is also a non-negotiable in 2025. Specifically, I want to keep adding 1 share of JEPG till I am receiving enough dividends from them so that each month I can actually buy a full share with the dividend payment alone. This last month I received just over £14 from this particular ETF, and the share is currently valued at £20, so I'm over 70% of the way there. By adding these 3 ETFs every week, I know that if I don't want to buy anything else that week, I've done my bare minimum purchases and will be slowly building towards my dividend empire. I've managed to stick to this goal throughout the first 3 months of the new tax year, so I hope to continue this throughout the rest of 2025. A real big goal of mine over the last 6 months was to trim my portfolio down to a maximum of 25 overall stocks and ETFs. After some careful considerations and reevaluations within my portfolio, I can now say that it's under this number, being at 24. This is a big one for me personally, as I feel you can get carried away with adding stocks and ETFs to your portfolio, and it may seem good at the time, but long term I feel it can become a bit of a mess and really hard to keep on top of everything within your portfolio. I feel my portfolio has a clear structure and objectives to every stock and ETF I now own, so I'm really happy with how it's currently shaping up. The next objective for me is to continue to add to my growth and income stocks when I see their price is a good buying opportunity. With having a portfolio size that I feel is manageable, it really helps me keep on top of every position, so if I feel a stock is undervalued and I have capital available, then I know I can bolster that position within my portfolio. I will always try to buy good quality stocks at discounted prices where possible, as highlighted with the purchases in today's video. Specifically, I saw great value in Greggs and B&M, so loaded up on these two mainly. And finally, it is to continue striving to have a good balance between growth and income in my portfolio. Right now, I have a dividend yield at 5% and a 5-year growth rate that sits at 6.65%, so they are both in the ranges that I want. Again, this is just something to consistently track to make sure it stays within my personal portfolio ranges, and I can then hold myself accountable. And that wraps up this month's monthly buys and sells. If you found value in this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more investing insights each month. Drop a comment if you made any interesting moves yourself. I'd love to hear what you've been buying or selling. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep compounding and stay patient in the market, because your future self will thank you. For now, this is the Geordie Pig Investor, over and out.